Hey everybody, Daniel Hagen here and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to something that happened at the inauguration.
Donald Trump did not put his hand on the Bible when he did his swearing in during the inauguration ceremony on Monday.
Now, hey, I'm an Australian. You can probably tell that by my accent, and I live in Australia, but I've been very intrigued by what's been happening in the United States. And in particular, I found myself up, it was 3 a.m. Australian time, watching live the inauguration. And to be honest, and by the way, there's not going to be a lot of political content on this particular channel unless it's a cool crossover to do with Jesus or to do with revival. And so I think you're going to find this quite interesting as a crossover, because there is a lot of internet sort of potential conspiracy, some questions swirling around in terms of the actual ceremony part of the swearing in. Did Donald Trump, this is the question, why did he not put his left hand on the Bible? Now, when he became the 45th president, there's clear footage and photos of him having his left hand on the Bible as he's sworn in as the 45th. This time it's the 47th. He didn't. And so people are wondering why he did not. And also there's a couple of questions around why is Melania, his wife, which is the first lady, why is she holding two books? What are the two books? Are they Bibles? And if so, why did he not put his left hand on those Bibles? Is this some type of conspiracy? Was it done on purpose, with intent, or was it a misstep? I'm going to talk about that. Let's view the content. Let's react to this together. I've got a little bit of information that might help you understand why this took place. And then I'm going to finally, at the end of this, show you something so cool that I'm sure you're going to be inspired and encouraged by. All right.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
That I will faithfully execute.
That I will faithfully execute.
The office of President of the United States.
The office of President.
You can't see the Bible there, whether his left hand's because the phone's in the way, but I'll show you a clearer shot soon.
To the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
All right, cool. So everyone's happy there. It seems all pretty normal, but in hindsight, looking back, it's pretty clear. And I'll show you a quick picture. Actually, let's go to this screenshot. It's a clearer picture of the fact that it is true. Donald Trump had his left hand down to his side and not on the Bibles, as really potentially you would expect as part of this swearing in ceremony. But what I do want to say is I believe that this was a misstep. You could tell by the fact the family almost seemed to be rushed getting there on time. Something seems to have happened with the order of ceremony or the order of service. Melania comes in late. They'd already started the process even before she got there with the Bibles. The family come around late, which to me indicates it's more of a misstep. It was rushed. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is, and I remember this live, I'm a musician, I'm a worship leader, so it really stuck out in my mind. Carrie Underwood, I think that's how you pronounce her name. Carrie Underwood, is that right, Ben? I think it is, yeah. So anyway, she was supposed to lead a song just before this actual swearing in a ceremony part. And it felt quite awkward because the backing track didn't play for, like, it felt like minutes. I'm pretty sure it was minutes. It was just like this kind of awkward waiting. Everyone's looking around like, why isn't the backing track playing? And so the professional that Carrie Underwood is, she ended up sort of thinking, well, I'm going to have to just step up and do this a cappella. And so she invites everyone to help her and they sing it a cappella. It all goes well. But I'm just wondering whether that loss of time in the order of ceremony has caused, potentially caused things to have to speed up and they lost a little bit of time there. It was rushed and therefore it was a misstep in not swearing in to, or having his left hand on the Bible as he swears in. I don't think it's a big deal, to be honest. I think the fruit of his presidency in terms of Christian values speak for themselves right now. It's pretty encouraging, and especially seeing, some of the people that he had open in prayer, like Franklin Graham, Billy Graham's son, and it was the whole thing was very God-centered. And as an Australian watching on, I'm like, yes, come on. I hope and pray that this has ripple effects all around the world. But finally, this is probably the coolest thing that I want to show you to finish off. And this, as I said, it's a crossover. I'm more focused on Jesus content, revival content, but this is a crossover now because the question some people are asking, why is there two Bibles? Why is she holding two books? One of the Bibles is Abraham Lincoln's Bible, which is very significant, iconic, if you like. But the other one is his mother's Bible. And so he has been gifted a Bible from his mother. And that Bible was actually it's actually a revival Bible. It was like the Bible used in a very significant outpouring in Scotland, where his mum's side or his heritage comes from. And it's quite interesting that his great aunties and his great cousin, as far as I remember correctly, were a part of his great aunties were major intercessors, and his great cousin played a role in a major outpouring and revival in Scotland. And so this Bible was actually a part of that. And Donald was actually named after his great cousin, who played an instrumental role in that revival. But hey, let me throw to the actual story, and this pastor that we're about to show you sort of speaks of it in more detail. And man, when I watched this, I couldn't help but get overwhelmed and just get this real sense, this prophetic sense that we have a real opportunity here, a window of opportunity for revival, for the gospel. I really believe the devil wanted this man dead, and God spared him with that assassination attempt. And I feel like it's more than just for political reasons, more than just for good, to help people with their everyday life and policies. All those things are important. I really feel like it's got a deeper meaning that's going to help us. It's going to hold back the works of the enemy and his plan, and give us just a greater opportunity, a window to really get the gospel out and advance the kingdom. So anyway, here we go. I want to throw to this finally now. You're going to see this pastor tell the story of this revival Bible that Donald Trump swears into presidency on.
In the Hebrides, in the early 1900s, began to moved up to the pleading for it into the 40s.
Dr. Clarence Sexton.
Maybe we could say it topped out in the early 50s. Two old women, one was 84 years old and one was 82 years old. One was blind and one was humped over so badly with spinal stenosis, just arched over. But they had passion for revival. They wanted God to work. This is what happened. They couldn't even get out to the church to pray. They couldn't even get out to the church to worship. Their house became a place to meet. People came in. They got so passionate about revival coming to their isle, the Isle of Lewis. They got so passionate about it. They confronted the preacher and wanted to know if he was thoroughly right with God. And they prayed and prayed and prayed. And they'd seen the Lord, they said, with the church filled up and God blessing, a great overflow. And the fire of God struck that tiny little obscure place off the coast of Scotland. And when it happened, there was a young teenage boy that got saved in it. His name was Donald. And the preacher became so dependent upon Donald and so close to Donald, he would ask him to lead in public prayers and help him with the meetings, and he did. Oh, how God worked. People began to hear about it, and the revival fire spread. It spread. And God blessed in a great way. Those two old women, the kind of people don't want in the church anymore. And from that same island, there was a young girl who was a cousin to Donald Smith, who immigrated to America. Her name was Marianne Smith McLeod. She came to America in 1936. She met a man named Fred, and they were married. They fell in love. They were married. God blessed in a great way. And those old women were her aunts. And they came out of that fiery revival, They really experienced revival. And they sent a Bible, a copy of the Word of God that had been used in a special way in that revival, to Mary Ann. She started having children. I think it was 1937 she had her first child. They named him after his father, Fred. Then she had her second child, named after herself, Mary Ann. Then she had her third child, Elizabeth. Then she had her fourth child, and she was so impacted by this teenage boy God had used in that revival of the Hebrides. She named him Donald. And she gave him that Bible, the Hebrides Revival Bible. He was born in 1946. He's now the 45th President of the United States.
And now the 47th as well.
And that Revival Bible is in the Oval Office.
Wow.
I'm saying to you, I don't know how, why, I don't know how it all comes together. But I believe God is putting some things together to give us just a window. If he could find some open people
Come on.
who know what the window's for. Can this be the time the window's open? Providentially, God has prepared the moment, and we will become the people of prayer, pleading with God. This is a plea. Will thou not revive us again? Will you be a part of that? Will you?
Pray for revival. This is our moment. So awesome. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, man. When he started to break, I felt so emotional in that point, and I thoroughly agree with the doctor there that this is such an opportunity for those that can really seize the moment, this window of opportunity. Now, he preached this when he was the 45th president. How much more now that he's the 47th? Let's really go after Jesus and revival, and let's see it like a ripple effect right across the globe to see a great, great harvest of souls and a worldwide revival. Guys, God bless. Don't forget, subscribe. If you can, I'd love it if you can like the video and also comment, let us know your thoughts on this. God bless.
Arise, his enemies scatter. Let God arise, his enemies scatter. Let God arise, his enemies scatter. He defeated the grave.
I hope you're enjoying our new content. I want to encourage you to like, to comment, let us know what you're thinking, and of course subscribe. That way we can update you with all of our new content releases. And finally, from the bottom of my heart, we work so hard on this and I just appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching.
He is the overcome, shouting out. He is the revolution.